What we're going to do today is, instead of creating a creature or a figure or a person, going to look at creating a background. So I have done some more rubbings, particularly using larger areas of texture. So I can thinking of, like, I'm going to do a landscape. You can do a landscape, or you can do something indoors like a room or something like that. That's what you're going to do. So things like trees, hills, fences, rivers, roads. If it's indoors, it will be walls, windows, doors, tables and things like that. So it depends what you find. As normal, be flexible with what you intend to do, what you think you might end up with. So I'm thinking of coming up with a landscape, but it might end up being a room. It doesn't matter. You need an environment, something to put your creature into. And that's what we're going to do today. So now I'm part of the way through developing my landscape, and as you can see, what I've done here is I've used that large textured area, which was basically a brick wall, and I've cut it because I thought, well, that looks like a cliff and maybe that's the hillside, so I cut it round in a sort of landscape shape. I've got the rubbings here and I've cut them at an angle, so that could be like a ploughed field or something. What I've done as well is that, because once you start getting all these bits of paper, it can get a bit flimsy and everything flies around. So what I've did here, for example, is I pasted this up because I thought that would be quite good as a tree. But it was flying all over the place. You get bits of paper everywhere. So you could glue it onto an area like this, which is what I've done with this one. So that's two bits of paper now, but it's onto another piece of paper. But that now means I can move that around separately. Otherwise, there would be the trunk and the top bit here, and then it sometimes gets a bit difficult. But apart from that, though, once you've got these basic shapes, then it's arranging things so that you begin to make your landscape. Little bits, offcuts, like this bit here from the field. Could be a good idea to keep that, because I could use that again and repeat that and extend that rather than going off and getting another piece. I could use these things for maybe small hills or something else. So don't throw anything away just yet. You will eventually have quite a little collection of bits and pieces. So what I'm going to do now is start to put these things together and try and complete my picture, and that will be the next scene. So here I've developed my picture by adding more and more parts to it. You can see here that I've added another tree. Again, that was the one that I'd cut out, and then I stuck that. I overlapped it. That gives it a bit of depth. And when you're doing that, if you have that kind of triangle shape where it's going forwards, where this is a little bit lower, when it's closer to the bottom, then it makes it look like this is going further back into the distance. I cut out another small area here, which could be seen as a tree, a smaller bush or something like that. And then the smaller bits here where I've added a bit more of the land, but then this oval thing here, that was the end of just a butter knife, and that was the end of the handle. But that could be either a cave entrance or the start of a building or a temple or something like that. And then I put this strange creature in here. And that is just from one of the rubbings I did before, which could have been a wing, but because I've used it differently, now it looks like it could be a three legs, or it could be a totem, like the entrance to this tribe that lives here with this face on there, or is it an alien creature in this alien landscape? And that could be the moon or another planet rising or falling. So now I'm starting to create a picture which has got a story to it. Not sure what the story is, but it depends on what I write. So now that could be the basis for a story that I begin to write. So if you're somebody who's an author, wants to write fantasy novels or something like that, maybe this is the start of an idea of what it could be. Maybe it's the illustration for a book. So that's what you have to do today. It doesn't matter if you choose a different kind of background, as I said before. If it was inside or something else, it's entirely up to you what you create. That's the thing, you've got permission to be creative and just come up with what you find. So hopefully you have a good time with that, and we'll do more of it when you come back to school as well. And the technical term for this kind of work is frottage.